What's up, beer nerds? Welcome back to another episode of the Final Gravity Podcast, a podcast about craft beer, friends, life, and existing on planet Earth. I am one of your hosts here, as always, Cousin T.
What's up, guys? It's the Viking Peaches here, and I am not a nerd, sir. I am a geek. Thank you very much.
Whatever.
Not knowing the difference between those two, but being proud to be both. This is CJ, also known as the Groovy Bear.
Welcome to the beginning of the final set of episodes for Season 2.
The last three of Season 2. Here we go. Block number 4.
Yeah. We're done after this, guys. We got to do a whole new thing. We're not going to do this ever again.
We got to figure
something else out. It's fucking over.
We're just going to fade off into obscurity, and someday we'll be reliving our glory days to our grandchildren, and they'll be like, yeah, sure, you were on a podcast.
Yeah, whatever great-grandpa.
Honestly, Josh and I sold our shares weeks ago. We made so much goddamn money. So,
yeah, we saw the shit start to take a downturn, so we just sold off and called it.
I mean, Josh, are we still going on that boating trip in Bali in a week?
I mean, only if you have like an extra month off, because I actually did extend that trip because we had to make that little detour, you know?
Yeah, right. To go see the vineyards up in Naples. Yeah. We're gonna private fly. Yeah, I can handle that. That's fine.
All right, perfect.
We'll have a good time.
Dogs downstairs are super excited. I think it's all for work.
T, what are we doing today, bro? What's happening?
Oh, fuck, man. Well, we kind of sat down and couldn't really figure out what to do. We had a meeting a couple days ago, and we were like, fuck, we have to record this weekend. What are we going to talk about? And I don't remember if it was Josh or CJ that mentioned, let's just go get some crappy American lagers. And I was
I think it was a combined effort. I think someone suggested the lagers, and then I think I suggested the blind tasting of the lagers.
It was a multi-brand effort there, but I think we wanted to humble ourselves at the beer altar and not necessarily just drink craft, but to really dig into some of these are the shitty lagers of our past, and some of them are just things you can find anywhere you go. And we're gonna try, I think, as best we can to blind taste some. I don't want to say shitty beer, but we're gonna drink some shitty beer tonight.
It's that's why I called it a crappy American lager.
I like that. I do. I think that should be a style at the Great American Brew Fest.
I think a working title for this would be the Brown Bag Beer Bonanza.
Mine are in brown bags. I put all mine in brown bags.
Yeah, you're gonna have to text that to me.
I'll do that right now.
So we all have, I believe, Miller High Life and Hams to drink today. In no particular order are we going to be drinking these. The other two, CJ and I both have Coors Banquet, and Josh has some Montucky Cold Snack.
CJ, did you end up with some Miller High Life?
Correction. I do not have Miller High Life. I have Hams. Instead of Miller High Life, I really got high before I went to the grocery store to try and keep this honest. I think I grabbed Rainier. And then I definitely have Coors Banquet. So that's something that T and I share, but you don't have. And again, we're going to be drinking these in no particular order via person, right? Like we're not even, we're just grabbing.
No. Nope.
We're just grabbing and going.
I've got 4 beers in solo cups that my brother set up in the fridge for me.
Exactly.
And they have what they are written on the bottom, so I'm not gonna know what they are until after I can finish the cup and look at the bottom of it.
I filled
which I'm
them
not gonna do till the end.
To the same level, put them in the fridge, and I'm just gonna. I don't remember what order I put them in, so I'm just gonna go downstairs, grab one glass at a time.
Perfect.
Now,
and
I have to drink. I realized this, and you're gonna have to do this too, Josh, because it's on the bottom of the cup. When you tip the cup up, it's gonna show on the camera, and you're gonna be able to see it. So you're gonna have to. We have to sit sideways.
This is a good faith effort right here that we're trying to do. Yes. This is good faith. We're trying to taste these blind. Yeah, I came home, thought I had a roll of duct tape. I didn't have any duct tape, so I shoved them all into plastic bags and brown bags.
Nice.
It's good faith effort. We also all have a good lager, right? A presumably good lager.
Presumably good lager. Yes.
I went with the pub beer from 10 Barrel, as when they came out with it, it was really designed to kind of make fun of these cheap big box beers anyways, and so I figured if that's what we're drinking, I might as well compare 10 Barrel's effort of a cheap beer with everyone else's cheap beer.
CJ, what did you end up with?
I just wanted to point out because what Josh was saying about 10 barrels is hilarious to me. Is like, I bet you now that they've made that, I would wager to bet they probably make a few thousand barrels of that beer a year. And
Oh,
I
easily.
wonder what the brewers think of on the deck. Are they like stoked, or are they just like, fuck my life,
God
dude? Like, this is because I think pub beer is like flaked corn and pilsner and some Tettnang hops, dude. Like,
Well, and it blew the fuck up. Like, I mean, you can't go any. Like, the Mountain sells so much pub beers, and they've got
it's
the
an
20
$11
5
six
ounce.
pack for fucking Coors Banquet, dude. Like, it's amazing.
I love it.
Such a great branding. I mean, I hate them and love them for doing it. I just want to say that I hate them and love them for doing that.
What was your?
I ended up with a local. I ended up with Tuski Brewski from Kalispell Brewing Company, and that was what I could find in singles and in the closest packaging format to the cans that we have, so I could try and be, as objective as possible. Yeah, I'm excited. Kalispell Brewing Company. I'll give you guys a humble shout out. Their brewery in Flathead Valley, and they make some fantastic traditional lagers.
Yes, they do.
So, and they're one of the only breweries out here that's really committed to doing that. So it's awesome.
That was going to be my next statement. Was that they're literally the only ones out here that are doing it. And there's not a lot, but for the area, to only have one lager style brewery is interesting. I picked up the longboard, the Island Lager from Kona Brewing.
Kona.
I've actually been drinking a lot of Kona Brewing lately. They make their hard seltzers now that are like island style hard seltzers, and they're damn good.
Talk amongst yourselves. I'm gonna go grab my first beer.
Please don't tell me that island style hard seltzer is going to be on the 2024 GABF list. You know what I mean?
No, it's not. It's a seltzer. It's not a beer.
Please, it's a seltzer, but I mean, please don't tell me that we're starting to classify styles of seltzer, right? Like, oh, I like the brute. I like the brute seltzer.
So when I say an island style seltzer, so like most of the seltzer companies, they've got like their lime, they've got their fucking strawberry, their raspberry. These ones they have like strawberry guava, passion orange guava, passion fruit lime.
Yeah.
So it's like island themed flavors that
right, which is fine. But this is how this is how shitty trends get formed right here. It's like, oh. I heard the Viking Peaches call them island style lagers, or I'm sorry, island style seltzers. I heard
Josh Reports only drinks island style seltzers. I want to drink what Josh Reports drinks.
This is how shitty trends get started, and
I'm a trendsetter, CJ. What can I say?
No, you're an influencer.
I'm a pessimist, and I'm angry all the time at trendsetters. That's
both
what I have to
in my
say.
ass.
All right, are we ready? Are we ready to pour our first beer? Are we ready to try this shit?
I'm poured up.
All right, I'm going to push the microphone back. I'm going to grab my trusty ball mason jar mug, and I'm going to close my eyes.
All right. Yes, look at this.
Grab me a beer.
I am drinking a beer in a red container. It looks like beer. It is nice and chilled from the walk-in.
Smells like beer.
Smells like cheap beer.
I am also doing the same, but I pre-poured these into 8-ounce glasses, I think these are, give or take. And I have a piece of tape along the bottom.
Perfect. I have some brown cardboard bagging, and then it was tied with my doggy shit bags. They're empty doggy shit bags, but it's the only thing I could find to secure the packaging.
I love the pun that you wrap dog shit bags around dog shit beer.
And for the listeners, the three beers that really are dog shit, they're all in 16-ounce can pounders with the exact same copper top. So who fucking knows what we got here? This looks like a hungover piss or a hangover piss. This looks golden as fuck.
I will say I drink a lot of Montuckies and I drink a decent amount of pub beer. I haven't had ham since I don't know when. And Miller High Life, I think the last time I had it was 2 years ago on my birthday when I was drinking it with you, Thomas, and Ashley down at the Great Northern. So
dude, Highlight.
It's been a fucking minute.
Well,
Josh, what's the aroma coming off your red Solo cup there? Can you talk to me about that, please?
I don't know if I'm going to be able to make
Smells like 7 a.m. ski bum, brushing your teeth in the fucking parking lot, waiting for the spring lifts to start turning.
T, what do you have? What do you have in your cup over there? What does it smell like?
It smells like old champagne. Like
Yikes! Well, that might be a hint right there. There is a champagne of beers in this.
stale champagne is what this smells like.
It tastes like 7 a.m. in the parking lot waiting for the lifts to turn too.
No,
Yeah.
you know what this tastes like? This tastes like Tuesday.
Oh,
Wait, what is it?
man.
Miller Mondays, High Life Mondays at the North.
My,
Ping pong and pool.
Okay, yeah.
See, I have no frame of reference in terms of like trying to guess which of my 4 beers this is.
But I will.
I need to drink at least 2 of them before I start trying to place guesses, you know.
Oh no, I think we should try and line them up and then place guesses at the end, because when's the last time you drank a shit lager and you actually sat down to appreciate the flavor? Like, I'm not going to say I haven't pounded my fair share of Peebers, Rainiers,
Analyzed,
but I've never
Montucky.
sat down and been like, oh, and these are the unique flavors coming off of Rolling Rock.
Oh,
You know
that
what I
one
mean?
is
Like,
definitely significantly maltier than the last one I had.
I mean, malty enough. Like it's got. It's definitely light bodied. That's for damn sure. It's a little chewy.
mine is super malty. I mean, I haven't sipped it yet. Mine is super malty on the nose. Just really heavy. Maybe a little bit of corn, not in like the DMS form, but like a little bit of corny, like from like flake corn or something like that, and super 6-row or American Pilsner malt. Just like really,
Yeah.
really, really malt forward.
And
I mean, jokes aside, this one is definitely like it's a light. It's a light beer, Herkadur. No, it's it doesn't have like a whole lot of body to it. It's very kind of watery on the sides. It's more, you get a lot more of the grain flavor on this one, I feel like, and a lot less of any kind of malts coming through on this one.
well,
Did you already go in for a sip? Have you guys both sipped
yeah.
your beers?
Oh yeah.
Oh
been
shit! I mean,
sipping.
I'm gonna catch up. Hold on.
Let's see. So it's hard not to chug these beers.
It's really hard. I'm
Which
used
is-
to
no,
like
these
beer
are
like
knockers,
this touches
dude.
my lips and it goes down, so I can get off the chairlift
Once
at
it
the
hits your
top.
lips, it's so good.
That doesn't suck. As I'm tasting it,
No.
semi-blind, like it's the right amount of effervescence, it's the right amount of sweetness, and it's the right amount of refreshingness. I mean, it
River
definitely,
beers.
yeah. I could drink this on the river all the time.
Well, I mean, that's part of why we did this episode is we're coming into spring season, which is when I'm drinking these beers up on the mountain all the time. There's river beers, summer, like cheap beer is kind of associated with this time of year. So it's a good time to be drinking them. And now I've got a truck stocked full of the rest of these packs of them for this spring season now. So
I don't know how long
it'll last me
the
like
rest
maybe a week.
beers are going to sit in the fridge. To be honest, you know,
These are going right in the cooler in the truck, and they're probably going to be gone by next week,
as-
if I'm entirely honest.
I know we live by the motto of no suds left behind, but as soon as I poured my samples, I poured the rest of the beer out.
Well, sadly, I'm going to drink whiskey with a friend after this, and so I'm not drinking the entire cans of all of these ones because they're all pounders
No.
minimum. So
Yeah, so it was really fucked up. I picked up High Life and Hams in pounders, a 22-ounce of Coors Banquet, and then bottles of the Kona. So I had to put all my beer in glasses because none of the fucking packaging was the same.
no, I walked out of the store with a 12-pack
What are
of
you
bottles of
giggling
High
about?
Lifes, a 6-pack of Hams and Montucky each in pounders, and a fucking 25-ounce pub beer.
Can we just
This episode really made me look shitty to the Safeway clerks. That
Oh
I mean, it was
my
just-
god, dude!
This episode really made me look, because I had a few other things to pick up, like toilet paper and taco
I just want
fixings.
beer.
And so I walked out of the aisle with taco fixings, toilet paper, and 3 fucking 6-packs of shitty lager. I don't know how else to advertise myself as a failure as a human being. I don't.
God, that's the most
know.
American thing I've ever heard.
I intentionally went to a store I don't normally shop at for this episode. People know me in this town, okay? Like,
I drove to Whitefish instead of going to my gas station because I tried to go to the gas station first and they didn't have anything. Let me make this clear. I went to 4 different gas stations, 2 different grocery stores, and what would you consider Marcus? Like a
Specialty store,
specialty
premium
store
store.
with a great
I-
beer selection.
I just consider it a grocery store in this town, but yeah.
Well, by grocery store I mean like Super One, Safeway, Albert,
Fair enough.
shit like that.
Yeah.
The bigger.
I call those ones supermarkets.
Okay.
It as
I
we're
don't know.
drinking these, I'm just gonna go ahead and I'm like I'm really as my cohorts continue to debacle. I'm really trying to find something in this beer that I either do or don't like, and I can't quite identify anything.
Isn't that
No,
what
Like
it's
makes
very
don't
simple.
I don't not like it, but there's nothing. I'm not just like, oh man, it tastes like a pure ruby red grapefruit. Oh, it's perfect. It's like no,
Honestly,
it
there's nothing
it
to
kind of
describe?
tastes like nothing, and nothing is kind of okay with me.
I feel like I'm getting more hydrated than buzzed right now.
4 pours of flavored water.
I'm searching for flaws. I'm honestly searching for flaws, and aside from like a little acetaldehyde on this beer, which for
Yep.
our nerdy listeners is green apple flavor
Mm-hmm.
from whatever beer I'm drinking, but it's such a low threshold that it's actually kind of pleasant and giving the
Nice.
beer some flavor.
Well, I would just well,
See,
the
this one-
acetaldehyde is more of like a rotten green apple, isn't it? Not just like a.
It can range. It can range. I think the very high threshold of acetaldehyde is almost identifiable as green apple Jolly Rancher, right? Like it's just
Yeah.
very candied, sweet,
You know,
hard apple.
Honestly,
you
with this
mention that-
beer,
Sorry.
with this beer, I get a little bit of that on the back of my tongue too. I'm getting a little bit of that, just kind of like almost sour green apple on the backs of my tongue.
Yeah,
And
there's
I mean,
a pleasant acidity to my beer.
I think
Pleasant
one thing
acidity.
to expect with these beers is these are beers that have been being made for fucking decades, and they're at such a high production level and such a consistency level that I wouldn't really expect to find anything wrong with them.
I mean, I wouldn't
Just
be surprised
besides the
like,
fact that it's not
these are
a
all automated when
really
they're made,
tasty craft beer.
You know,
Oh, go ahead, T. Go ahead.
just it would almost make me think that these are like fully automated brew systems that just continue to pump out like these crappy. Like someone walks in, turns a key, pushes a button, all the valves and everything on all the equipment is all fucking automated, and it just makes the same beer every single time.
Oh, absolutely. You have solenoid valves. You have a big computer system that operates it all. You know what's
Oh
you
yeah,
know
you
what's
don't have a
amazing?
guy sitting up there pitching the hops in, like no.
Right.
No, what's the container that holds grain before milling? Well, not
Oh,
like
just a
silo.
grist case. Just a
grist
grist
case?
case. Yeah.
I mean, some places around here have big silos, or silo style holding containers, but
I remember just before I got into craft brewing, working at a pretty high end bar, and I remember that every other week the Anheuser-Busch rep would come in and check the dates on everything. And even back in that day, I'd been home brewing for about 5 years, and so I thought this was hilarious, right? Because it's like, what are you doing? You're checking on shitty product? Okay, dope. But you honestly have to stand in awe of the mechanism that makes these beers, no matter what we're drinking. Is that this is a formula for what works, right? While craft brewing really digs into what will work for a small bit of people, what will make one person feel very special. Macro brewing is a formula that works, and it's been time honored for hundreds of years. It's not like macro brewing stole craft brewing from anybody. There was the minute we had beer, we had macro brewing.
But there's
and these guys are so serious about consistency.
Yeah,
It doesn't necessarily matter about quality, but it's insane. They're so like they do not let their product sit. We can all agree their product is piss water, but it's always good piss water, and they're really good at doing it.
Craft brewery on the planet that would be able to keep up with the output of making
not with Miller
beer,
Coors,
with making beer for NFL fans,
or
sports fans in general. There's no way anyone would be able to keep up with that
without knowing what it is. What did y'all think of your first beer? I know we haven't a reference
honestly,
point, but
like.
Are you saying what do I think it was, or
well, no. I think we should leave the guesses till the end. But did you like it at the end of the day? Like knowing it's shit, did you like it?
I'd grab another.
Oh yeah.
Okay, you wouldn't kick it out of bed.
No.
What's interesting is not knowing that I'm drinking, like whichever one of the four that I happen to grab. Like I don't know exactly which one that I'm drinking, but I would drink the shit out of this. You know.
Okay.
Well, I mean, and I think it's something like I think everyone knows about
Nevada,
me is that
my palate cleanser.
I am passionate about my cheap beer in the right setting for the right place. So Yeah, this beer, whatever one happened to be in this glass, and I've got my guess written down. I'm gonna try to guess as I go, and I'm leaving it open for revision. It's one that I would easily grab again. That if it's the one I think it is, it's one that I don't normally grab off a grocery store shelf. But I mean,
Tight,
fuck, I'd bring it out there.
tight.
I enjoyed all of what I drank.
I think.
I have a guess in mind in my head, um, but that will more than likely change when we move on to the second
Yeah.
beer. Because
Yeah.
then I think we'll have a better idea of what we've had versus what we're having, and be able to be like, oh well, I know I said that beer was like a little green apple and tasted like stale champagne, but this one tastes like stale.
I know. We can't do
No?
it until we get some more reference points. I also have a guess in my head, but I am scared because I don't want to miss. you know. So all right, let's drink some more beer. Let's drink some more fucking beer.
At the gathering,
I'm down
on
to grab
Friday,
my second.
I told Kate, our buddy Kate, or our friend Kate, our wife to Iraq, whose birthday was on Friday. Shout out Iraq.
How
Shout out
many
Iraq.
descriptors can we
Shout
give
out
to Kate?
most beautiful woman in the world.
Miss you
Kate
guys.
is a beautiful soul. She asked me how the podcasts were going, and Graham, the head brewer from Bonanza, happened to be standing next to me, and I started talking about the blind tasting with Marty, and Graham immediately was just like, dude, that's fucking hilarious. Like, just, and Kate called him out. She's like, do you think you would be able to correctly identify fresh squeezed or Sierra Nevada? And I was like, because CJ and Marty both missed him.
We missed. When we pulled those beanies up, when we unveiled the blindfold, right? There was the fact that I had just drank that Oscar Blues dankfulness or whatever it was, or the
Cannibalists.
Cannibalists. I drank it a week ago, you know, and I'm pretty familiar with Oscar Blues' flavor profile, and I was like, honestly, silently in my head, I thought that was my beer at first. I thought like I was getting tripped up with mine, but I didn't want to say that because I was like,
fuck,
you know. And in a weird way too, those were slightly older cans, I remember, but I was like, oh, this has got some oxidation, and I know that my current IPA has a tiny bit, and it fucking pisses me off every day. And I was like, fuck, this is my beer. And Marty's going to call it out right now. And you know what's hilarious is Marty was like, man, your beer was my favorite. It's so subjective when you taste things.
I'm going to go grab
Absolutely.
It's so what you look at, how you're feeling, where you're at, what happened to you that day.
What activity you're doing, what the weather's like.
Will always affect what you taste.
Because if it's a 90-degree summer day, I'm not going to really enjoy any stout you put in my hand. But when it's cold as fucking snowing, give me that dark beer goodness. Let's go.
Right. Well, again,
like,
isn't it funny that even the visual sight of dark beer is warming? Whereas, like one of the problems I've had recently is there's been a kind of a slight resurgence of the white stout, which is a really cool concept.
White stout.
Yeah. So you make a beer that is blonde as fuck, but has all the flavors of a stout.
That actually sounds really good.
It's super cool, but at the same time, it's like, well, if you wanted all those flavors, what's wrong with just having a stout, right? In my opinion. But at the same time, it's kind of this visual sorcery that a brewer can do and be like, well, yeah, I can do all this and not create that color.
You're a wizard.
But the why always comes into mind. Like, okay, cool, you did that. Like, we all don't need to do that. Anyway,
All right,
I'm going to jump up and right off say that I know. The one flaw in my tasting was the only packaging I couldn't find to be similar was the local brewery. And I know I just picked up a 12-ounce can. So I know I'm drinking Tooski Brewski from Kalispell Brewing.
I'm jealous. I don't that beer.
I'm going to recuse myself as a local brewer from anything I might say that is critical, but I also want to be an honest taster. So I'm just letting the community of 8 listeners know that I know exactly what I'm drinking here. And it's going to be kind of fun because the next 2 lagers are going to be complete shit compared to this. But I know I'm drinking a craft Pilsner right now. That's what I'll say about what I got.
Well, about what I have, it looks the fucking same as the last beer.
Red Solo, baby. It's the Red Solo cup.
What the fuck?
It looks the same. It smells the same.
Yep. It smells like old beer and champagne.
Mine smells so good, you guys. Compared to the last beer, it smells
Nope,
so
the
good.
taste is different. I don't get
Taste?
any green apple on this one.
Yeah, this one tastes.
This one's
Yeah.
this one's more like, this is definitely maltier, like straw, like old.
Yours, your beer is maltier than the one before it,
Mhm.
the previous one. Okay.
This is, I believe,
See,
this
this
would be a
one-
little bit maltier than the last one. There's no, I get zero acetaldehyde on this one. There's no green apple flavor to it. The champagne on the last one isn't present in this one either, even though like on the nose it smells like that. So it's interesting. I gotta go back in.
I will say this tasting, just sipping this second beer now, is gonna make me bite my tongue a little bit more often.
Okay.
If I were, in that, let's say at J-Dub, we have Bud Light. We don't have Coors Light. We don't work with the distributor that distributes Coors Light in Bend.
That's a different.
But so fucking frequently, people come in and, oh, I'll take a Coors Light. Oh, sorry, how's a Bud Light? Oh, no. And, in my mind, I'm like, come on. It's the fucking same. Like, they're both fucking piss water beer.
It's like Pepsi and Coke, right? It's like the debate between Pepsi and Coke.
Like Rainier versus PBR. There's not, like, in my mind, there's not really that much of a difference. But now, with these two beers at least that I've had so far, tasting them blind, not knowing what each one is, and really trying to pay attention. Yeah, the last one had a lot more green apple flavor for me. This one is a lot more forward on the tongue, a lot more kind of straw flavor, a lot drier. The last one was a much more wet beer. This one's and it's really weird to me that I'm getting bougie about cheap ass beer, but I'm into it.
But to be clear, you're completely blind on this, Josh. You have no idea. I'm gonna guess
I have
for you.
zero
I'm gonna make this
what's
game
going
even
on here.
funner. I think you're drinking Montucky Cold Snack right now. I'm not trying to put that in your head. That does not have to be your guess. But already given what we tried on the first beer, and even though we know that we didn't actually all try the same beer, I think you're drinking Montucky Cold Snack right now.
See, what I
Just by the way you described it.
the first beer that I had, I feel like was drier. This one definitely feels wetter. So I don't know if that's a. It's probably a Plato finishing.
Let's see. I'm trying to remember what High Life and Hams taste like because I haven't had those ones in so long. I don't think I've had either of those beers within the last year. Cold snacks I've had within the last week.
Hams. It could be hams.
I've had a cold snack this week. I don't know if this is a cold snack.
No, that's pretty.
I think this might.
You know what? I'm gonna make the guess and say he's drinking the 10 barrel right now.
I was gonna say I think this might be the pub beer.
If you guys are right, I'll humbly apologize, but I'm gonna put my money on Montucky Cold Snack.
I am leaving my guesses open for revision at this point.
Yeah.
Josh and Cuzzy T both. I'm drinking. Obviously, I know it's Tuski Brewski. That's just a flaw in the packaging.
Can you just describe it for me so I can remember?
Talk dirty to me.
I can.
Make it sound sensual.
Talk dirty to me.
First of all, it's an absolutely beautiful Pilsner. It's really good. I'm going to have a little more.
Final
really
Gravity, a beer porn podcast.
It's straw colored. It's so herby and grassy and fun to drink, and it's refreshing as fuck. And it feels, I don't actually know the ABV, but it's definitely below 5.5 in my palate. It's probably closer to 5.
This one's a different color.
What's going on there?
This is a different color than the last one. This is very light.
Is that your second beer still, or did you pour something in?
No. This is the second beer still. This beer is this is hangover piss colored. It's hard to see with the lighting setup that I have in here, but like when I put it up in front of the camera with some white light behind it, it's it's barely got like yellow to it.
Is Sunday Morning a Maroon 5 song? Is that correct? I mean, it's like that shitty poppy song that also works so well for what it's used for.
I just remember Gwen Stefani and No Doubt singing a song about Sunday morning, and that's all I remember.
Josh, Tuski Brewski tastes like Sunday morning. It tastes like any Sunday morning, whether it be gray or sunny. Oh wow, shit! It tastes like any given Sunday.
It's easy like Sunday morning.
Yeah, that's the one I'm thinking of. It is really delightful. I gotta give my friends a shout out at KBC. It is really fucking delightful.
I love all of the
That's by the Commodores, by the way.
What?
Oh shit! All right. Well, hey,
And it's
way to
actually
go.
called Easy.
That's why I'm easy. Don't
Like a
buy. Yep.
Sunday morning.
It's
It's a
delightful. It
great
is
song.
such a good pilsner. It's a great song too, but fuck, we're done
Well,
with that.
that's like
Fuck the
when we were
Commodores.
talking the other day about
Uh,
the Triumph IPA over at Backslope. It's like what we were talking. We had our meeting a couple of days ago, trying to what I talked about earlier, trying to figure out what we were going to do today, and we talked about CJ's Triumph beer, the single hop IPA over at Backslope, and it's literally like drinking springtime when
be right back.
you open like you know how like after winter, like when you open your windows in your house for the first time in the spring when it's like 65 degrees out and it's super nice. You know what I mean? Like just that.
I love that day.
That's what CJ's Triumph IPA tastes like.
Oh, fuck me up. I need that. I need that in my life.
Yeah.
You know
Well,
what's throwing me off about this beer that I just realized compared to the last one? This one is way more carbonated than the last one was.
I feel like it's the other way around. The first one I had was way more carbonated than this one,
See, and to
which
me,
leads me to
given
believe that this
three
might
cheap,
be the Kona.
see for me, giving three cheap beers and a cheap local-ish beer, that kind of makes me feel like it might be the pub beer even more. Just because I feel like maybe it might have come out of Bend, right? It might have come out of the Bend 10 barrel location, and it might be more fresh and therefore more carbonated. I don't know.
I want to make a suggestion that next time we do this, we should have like the four beers lined up in frame,
And we could taste them
so that
all.
like we are being very truthful about the fact that we're doing this blind, but some people are going to be like, no, you're fucking not, uh, because there's always haters. So at some point or another, it would be
Tater's
fun.
gonna tate, dog.
That
Tater's gonna tate.
that's right.
Oh, I was even gonna think that I know that on Discord you can set up like faux channels, and we could have actually gotten a second webcam and had all the beers we were tasting for people in front of them, and while we're talking about them, right? And they could know the order, even though we fucking didn't, and we don't. Honestly, I think we're all doing our best
No,
job to
I
not know.
literally have the glasses in my fridge. I don't remember what order I put them in, so I'm just grabbing glasses,
Grabbing and going.
grabbing and
My brother literally like he came into the room and I walked out to go take a piss. He poured four beers with whatever written on the bottom of them, and he just had them lined up, and I just moved them into the fridge before I started. So I have no idea what's where.
Yeah, we are doing our best, um, and I think we're doing a good job. I just think for like a visual aspect, so people can see next time, like
Fair enough.
Sure. No, I think that's great. I think that's really great.
So
Are we ready to
Thomas,
drop?
do you have guesses on your second beer at all, or are you still
I
holding your guesses till the end?
I'm gonna hold my guesses till the end. I have an idea.
Obviously, I already started throwing mine out there, but
Well, I mean, we've kind of just melded into just talking about ideas of what we think it is. Um, I'm not making a guess. I'm going to make a subjective observation or objective observation. I don't know.
Either or. Yeah,
Either or.
we know what you mean.
Um, and say it might be the Kona just because I feel like it's slightly less carbonated. It came in bottles over cans, so there's going to be a bit of a carbonation difference in that because it's different packaging. Uh, but just the body of that beer lends me to believe like I don't think I'm reaching for like a small hint of coconut in this beer. I think I just taste it. But I could also just like have the idea in my head that Kona Brewing might have just thrown like a little bit of coconut.
little coconut going in there.
Just
You saw the label, you saw the surfboard label, and you're like, it must be all fucking tiki drinks and fucking
well, and
fish
that's
tacos on the beach.
that's kind of what the idea. Like,
Tacos on the beach sound good though.
tacos on the beach sound good. You know what? When I go to California in May, I'm gonna do that, and you guys are gonna be jealous.
I want to meet the
This is-
person who
you know
thinks
what?
that
I'm gonna
tacos on the
send you
beach are not
pictures
okay.
Of
That
every
doesn't sound
day
good
of
to
me
me.
in California because you're stuck at work And this is going to be my retribution to you guys making millions of dollars off this podcast. Be like, yeah,
That's a good reminder for everybody who knows. Thomas hasn't made a dime off this podcast, but Josh and I are doing great.
We're doing good. We're doing good.
We're doing really good. We're doing
say,
I don't
fantastic.
understand how, like,
to your question,
created something and didn't get paid for it.
To your question
Like Nikola
on the
Tesla.
first beer, CJ, I'd be less likely to reach for a second of these and more likely to reach for a second of the first
Now that
one.
you've had this, now that you had the first one, okay. So the second one is less likely for you.
I like I'd probably reach for either of them, and especially if it's just what's in the truck when I'm skiing. I would drink both of these, but
I'm gonna agree.
I like the first one a little better so far.
I'm
Okay.
going to agree in the same thing and say that the first beer I had, I would have more of than the second one that I had.
Well, it's on record. I obviously, again, to our listeners, I had an advantage in knowing exactly what I was drinking for the second one. So, of course, I would, and I'll humble brag for another brewery, reach out for Tooski Brewski any day of the week.
Always. I used to drink so much of that.
It tastes like
back in Montana.
fresh lawn cut grass and sunshine. It's fucking amazing. So,
All right, I'm going to go grab
but
beer number 3.
I did like my first beer, so I'm looking forward to beer number 3.
I'm curious for beer number 3. I'm feeling like I might be off base on a couple things here, but I'm curious. I think beer number 3 might solidify some of my guesses for me.
I'm to our visual viewers. I'm cleansing my palate with IPA, so I'm sure that's both making it more honest and also completely ineffective at the same time, and I'm stoked about it. Reaching down into the troll hole here. Let's see what other brown bag beer we can bring out.
All right. Well, while you're pouring your beer and Thomas comes back, I'm going to go ahead and say
What
beer
you got
number
in front of
3.
you, Josh?
Well, I got a beer in a solo cup, and it looks the fucking same as the last two.
These are all like straw yellow. They're all like
color.
dehydrated piss, dude.
With the lighting in this room, I'm looking down into the white inside of a solo cup with the beer in it, and they all just look yellow. So
Yeah,
the visual thing is not helping.
this one is slightly darker than the last one.
Right. I know you and Marty on your blind tasting, you were saying how visual is so important, but honestly with these beers, the visual would not be helping
I
me.
think it's hurting us, honestly.
They look the fucking same to me. So
Mine's got so much CO2 falling out of retention, but so much head.
Holy crap.
And it. I mean, again, I'm pouring through garbage bags and my dog's empty shit bags right now. Like we're treating this beer the way it deserves to be treated. But I got something again that looks exactly the same as beer number 1. Like there is no color difference in this whatsoever.
This one and beer number 1 look exactly the same.
No aldehyde though on the nose for me. I get actually this is cool. I get a lot of biscuit notes on this one. This is very toasty.
See,
For a light beer, this is very
I get
toasty.
aldehyde back on this one. Not as much as the first one. Oh,
I like the lightness on mine better than the first one. This is already a beer
fucked
I'd
up
reach
all
for
of my
more.
goddamn choices.
this
Did you?
This one is more green apple-y than the first one to me.
Really? You guys are both getting aldehyde. I'm not getting any aldehyde in my first one. I wonder
The
if we
funny
could
thing
do
is
a little.
we're probably all three drinking different beers at different fucking times too.
But I'm
right?
but I'm trying to do that 3x3 diagram where you could X out. Like he's not getting this, so they're not getting this either. Like we all got a little bit of aldehyde from the first one. You
That's
guys
true.
are getting aldehyde on the second one, but I'm not. So I know I'm drinking something different than you guys are, or just drinking a completely different package of it.
Am I incorrect? Wait, no, Thomas, you got High Life too, right?
My options were High Life, Hams, Coors
Gotcha.
Banquet, and
I think you guys both drunk fucking Miller High Life on the first one, dude. That beer is so riddled with aldehyde, it's unreal.
Well, see, this one is a lot more aldehyde than the first one to me.
Oh, okay,
That's
you're
what's
right.
fucking me
So-
up right now is that I don't. One of the like this third beer and the first beer, one's High Life and one's Hams.
Mine's like drinking white Wonder Bread. Like if you
See,
could
I think-
liquefy Wonder Bread, that's what it's like. That's what it's drinking right now.
That
So
sounds
far,
like
my
Coors
guess is-
Banquet because I haven't tasted anything like that, and it's the only idea
What's up?
I have left. because I
Yeah.
like the 1 and 3 are obviously going to be, it's either going to be Hams or Miller on 1 and 3.
Oh,
2,
no,
I
I
think, is
am.
Kona. So I think the last beer that I have downstairs might be the Coors. So now I'm
Okay.
curious when I go to drink that if I pick up like drinking white Wonder Bread.
What the outliers again? Or I should say, excluding our craft beers. The outliers are Josh has Montucky and we don't.
Yep.
I have Rainier, and I believe you all both don't.
I
And
love Rainier.
Right?
Fucking love Rainier.
Josh, you have High Life, right? So T, you have
No.
something
Yep.
that we
Or no,
both all
yeah,
don't, right?
Josh has High Life, you don't.
Correct. Okay.
Okay.
So okay.
Right?
So
Yeah.
we
No,
all have hams.
we do
Okay.
all have hams.
We all
and
have hams.
I don't think I've tasted hams yet.
Okay.
I think hams is the only one that we all three have, right?
Yeah, because you and I have High Life.
Yeah.
Me and CJ have Banquet. And then he's got Rainier, and you've got
Tuckies.
Montucky.
Cold Snack.
Yeah.
Why is this so confusing?
It's a lot of
I-
it's a lot of shitty beer.
See, the thing for me on number 2 that makes me think number 2 is my pub beer is it was just so much more carbonated than 1 and 3 so far. And because it's the only one that's not a big box beer, I'm thinking it might have a slightly different carbonation than the big box beers, even though it's pretty much a big
Interesting.
box beer at this point.
Well, 10 Barrel being right in your area.
Yeah, and well, I think it might be a little fresher, so a little more just.
See, my
There.
beer number 3 is super carbonated. Like my beer number 3 is blowing the other two out of the water with carbonation.
But this one, like, I haven't even had a sip in probably the last minute, and I still taste that fucking green apple
I'm
on
going to
my
have
tongue.
to pee so
Interesting.
bad soon.
Like, it's back there. I think.
This
I'm
is
kinda,
this is the one beer that's not craft that I'm not getting green apple out of. I'm not getting anything out of it like that. This literally just tastes like barley tea. This is just like barley tea. It's
in mind-
fine.
the carbonation thing too. They are just sitting in a fridge in solo cups right now, so they might just be losing carbonation over time.
Mine
That is
also
valid.
all the
Totally.
same.
You guys have a different format. I'm cracking fresh cans, but they're wrapped cans. So we'll try and keep. Yeah, no, there's definitely. The interesting thing to me is that you guys are both getting aldehyde and acetaldehyde, which for our listeners is green apple unpleasant flavor in beer.
Well, it's not that I don't enjoy this. Like, it's
Sure, but you're picking that up.
There's
You're
a-
getting
definitely
that.
getting it.
There's a touch of it.
Funnily enough, the
Funnily
3 beers
enough?
I've drank so far. Funnily enough,
So,
funnily like a
is that like
funnily like a goddamn
funnel?
funnel cake.
Or a beer funnel.
No, like a funnel cake. But
Okay.
no, funnily enough, the beers that I've drank in order so far, 1, 2, and 3, are also in the order that I'd probably be more likely to reach for them again.
Oh,
This is the first beer I've had so far where I'm really like, obviously if someone handed it to me, I'd drink it, but this is not one that I would particularly want to buy to put in my truck. The other 2 I would readily buy to put in my truck, but number 1 was my favorite so far. And the fact that I'm having, like, again, as I was saying,
God
this is
damn
making
it.
me rethink my statements of, Coors Light and Bud Light. Hey, it's the fucking same beer. Fuck off with your judgment on us only having Bud Light.
Right. T, where are you at right now?
I am so confused. I am so confused because the more I drink this, the more I'm like, is this High Life? Because a High Life isn't like a very strong tasting or effervescent style of beer.
No, it's the champagne. It's the champagne of beer.
Hams, I feel like, is a little bit more aromatic and taste forward. It's like Dale's Pale versus like Sierra Nevada. You know what I mean? They're both pale ales,
Sure.
but you're gonna know.
Sure.
You should know the difference.
No, you're right. You should. If you're going to go serious craft beer drinker, you should know the difference. Yeah, I mean, obviously, I had a boon with my second beer. I just picked up the 12-ounce can, so I know it. So obviously, I'm not going to lie. Humble brag, I'd reach for KBC's Tooski Brewski out of any of them. But if I was looking at 1 and 3, I'm right now, my third beer is my favorite of what I assume to be the cheap lagers that I've been drinking. Beer number 3 is actually my favorite. It's the cleanest, and it's the most refreshing via carbonic acid and lightness. So the first beer was a little heavy for me. The first beer was malty. I mean, it was nice. It was sweet, but it was I wouldn't want more than one of them if I knew what I was drinking. You know what I mean?
I think if I had to guess, I think your third one is your Rainier. Just a nice, crisp, refreshing beer.
You think the Rainier is third?
Ooh, that's a good.
Okay.
That's a good point.
I actually was worried that my first beer that I'm knocking was going to be Rainier because for anyone who's out there listening, I love brewing craft beer. I love drinking craft beer, but I love fucking Rainier beer.
I've got
and
my
I was
guess.
really worried that
High
my
Life,
blind taste was going to just
I've got my
crush
guess
me.
on your order of beers based on the way you just described them, and I'm actually I'll write down my guess on your order of beers.
Okay, all right. I want to
now.
hear this. I do want to hear this.
You've got what, Rainier, Banquet, and
Rainier, Banquet, and Hams.
Hams.
Hams is still in the. For me, I don't think I've actually drank. I'm worried that my fourth beer is going to be Hams. Not worried, but I'm pretty aware that I think my fourth beer is going to be Hams.
Obviously, I left out your second beer because we all knew what that one was.
We all knew what that was.
I just wrote down my guess on what order I think your beers were.
Beer just runs through you.
Just based on your totally vague fucking descriptions. And no, I went right before the episode because I knew I was drinking water all fucking afternoon.
No, I called your first beer out. I think it'll be fine. It'll be fine. Should we jump into 4? Are you guys ready?
You thought my second beer was my Montucky, right?
I think your second beer is Montucky. That's correct. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and blindly crack my fourth can here.
I'm gonna
try and
go
see
grab
what's
my
up.
fourth beer,
and I'll go get number 4.
My knees.
I have not seen the bottom of these glasses, and I am setting them down in order. Closest to me is the most recent. Furthest away is the first.
My beer just exploded everywhere.
Oh.
Whatever I just opened just fucking went everywhere.
Okay, I know I've been joking that these all look the same, but this one actually looks a little bit lighter.
Infection? Your beer exploded in your pants?
It just, I think maybe because I wasn't holding them in a cooler, maybe it got a little bit warm, but my beer just went everywhere.
I'll be right back.
Not in a way where I feel like I need to clean, but enough where I'm definitely going to take a look at that later.
Going right through me. It's like that's what happens when you drink piss. You have to piss.
You have to piss.
Okay, I will say before I sip this beer, it looks lighter than the other 3. And I'm hoping my order guess was right, because if I was, then I'm really excited to drink this one. I like how I keep trying to smell these beers, and I just get nothing on the nose.
There's like nothing aromatic coming off.
I keep sitting here. I'm like, oh yes, let me take a swiff.
This is a
yes, it smells like nothing.
Yeah. This is a mechanism to get lightly drunk right here. This is that mechanism.
Yes, this smells like outer space.
The American Light Lager is the fucking saison for America. It's just something to quell and quench your thirst, you know? Quell your bad mood and quench your thirst.
Oh, no, I don't know.
Mine's super tasty. It definitely has some aldehyde. It definitely has some oxidation to it, but it's really really nice how it's coming together. And it's lighter than the other ones. Mine is
that
like
looks
literally
exactly the same
pure.
as all the other beers you've poured tonight.
Thomas, I was just saying this one actually I think looks a little bit lighter when I look down into the solo cup than the rest of them did.
This one looks a little bit the same.
The same.
I feel like mine's lighter by like a shade. You know what I mean? Like by a fucking shade.
So it's 9 SRM instead of 10?
Yeah, pretty much. Like I feel like it's that close, you know?
No one can see that difference.
I know, but it's there.
Wait,
it's there.
Am I in the right ballpark, or is that like a 4 SRM?
No, what we're talking about here is like 2 to 4 SRMs, if that. For those of you beer nerds who are listening, or geeks, whatever you want to be called, we don't judge. This is in like the 2.3 SRM category. There's like light passes through this thing like no fucking problem. and the carbonation is
let me just
ripping.
take a look at the light through this thing. It's red.
Oh,
You have a red shitty lager over there?
No, just a red
Holy!
cup.
Oh, okay. I actually saw it on the mini screen and I was like, "What the fuck is he drinking
I
right
knew it.
now?"
I'm surrounded by assholes. How many assholes we got on this shit?
Okay.
Mine's like drinking French bread. Mine's like it's absolutely like drinking French bread. It's really nice. It's like a baguette in a glass.
That is a very high praise of a
I
cheap
know of
shitty
shitty
lager.
beer. It's really
I really
nice.
want to know
That's
which
what I
beer you
smell
think
here
tastes like
too,
that.
man. I'm getting a lot of bread on this one. This one smells completely different than all the others.
This is super bready, and in such a good way. And again, bready in terms of BRE, a D rather than BRET.
Bread,
This is
not
super
bread.
bread. This is just like eating toasted bread crust right here. This is actually really pleasant. It's not my favorite beer, but it's actually really fun to drink.
This one is very watery.
You got some aqueous going on there, right?
A lot of aqueous. If I let it linger on the tongue, I get a little bit of those aldehydes, a little bit of that green apple. But for the most part, this shit tastes like water. Like honestly, if you just take a swig of it,
That's the pub beer.
swig, you don't fucking taste anything. It
You're
just
betting
tastes
that's
like
the
I'm
pub
drinking
beer?
water.
Okay.
Thomas, you think this one's the pub beer? You think the one that tastes like water's pub?
I'm being facetious.
All right. I see you.
This is a completely different beer than all of the others that I have drank tonight.
Oh shit! And you're 100%. You don't know what it is. Like from the packaging and everything, you don't know anything. You don't know anything about it.
Well, no, because you just had them in glasses in the fridge, ready to go.
Oh, okay. So why is this different? What's going on?
I don't
Talk to me, Goose.
Talk to me, Goose.
I don't get as much aldehyde as beers 1 and 3. It's definitely super bready, and as soon as you said it like baguette, like I get a lot of that on the nose here, like toasted bread. Like
Yeah.
good
Yeah.
bread crust.
Mm-hmm.
Good crunchy bread crust.
You're making me
think-
rethink my ordering of your of your beers, CJ.
I think T. I think we're drinking the same thing. I think we might have both come across the Coors Banquet at the same time. I'm scared to admit that, but I know it's the one beer that we share in common, and it's the flavor profile that has stood out the most to me. And goddamn, if I rate Coors Banquet, too high, like I'm gonna kick myself in the ass for the rest of my time. But I'm actually really loving this beer for how smooth and how refreshing it is, and it tastes like French bread crust. I'm really worried I'm
right
really
there with
fucking
you. I
worried
love
it's
the
Coors
baguette
Banquet, dude.
French bread crust.
I'm really
Honestly,
fucking worried it's Coors Banquet.
What I wonder
gonna
is
reach for
Thomas
number
hearing
one.
you say that, and then he's tasting that
Right.
because he just heard you say it, or
I don't know.
is it the same?
I
fucking
just think
beer?
I know that we both have that beer in common. Like that's our Venn diagram, right? And
Yep.
I just
No,
I think that Coors upped their game and went maltier but spritzier for their next for Coors Banquet, and it works. It does work.
I'm not gonna lie. I think I kind of got my beers close to right, but at the same time, there's probably equal chance that I didn't get a single fucking thing right.
I cannot wait, honestly, to find out which of these beers they are, and then to go back into the bars around here and be like, "Hey, you want a Sierra Nevada?" And I'm like, "No, I'll take a Coors Banquet."
Yeah.
He'd be like, "What the fuck did you just say to me?"
I need me my French bread right now.
But we are through our lagers.
I'm through my beers. I have my guesses written down.
All right, Josh, then start us out, brother.
Okay, well, I've got 2 sets of guesses here because CJ, I did say I was going to try to guess yours. CJ, I think you went Banquet, Rainier, then Hams.
Okay. And
That's where I'm thinking.
excluding my second beer, which was
Excluding
obviously
your second, obviously.
Banquet, Rainier, and Hams. Okay.
I think I went Hams, pub beer, Miller, then Montucky, And CJ, you thought my second one was the Montucky, so I did make that note on there.
Those are your guesses, though, right? Those are not proven.
These are my guesses. I have not looked
All
at the
right.
bottoms of the cups yet.
Okay, I really do. I'm believing in my second one there, even though I'm doing it completely blind. T, what do you think about what you drank?
If I had to pick an order from what I drank tonight, it's gonna go Hams, Kona, High Life, Banquet. That's
Hams, Kona, High Life Banquet.
CJ, what order do you think you went in?
Well, again, knowing that Tooski Brewski broke me up at 2,
Yeah.
I'm gonna go Hams first. I think the carb was a little low, and it didn't impress me, even though I love good hams. And then I'm gonna go into Rainier, and I'm pretty positive I'm gonna stick with my gut that the fourth one was Coors Banquet.
All right.
It was malty as fuck, but it was super good. It was super tasty.
Fair enough. That to be fair, I wrote my guess for your order before you had your last beer too. But
how do we unveil here, boys? What do we do?
well, I think
do we want to do it one beer at a time, or do we want to do it one person at a time?
no. Let's
Go ahead.
Ooh, that's a good point. Let's all.
I think we do it one person at a time. Let's start with Josh. Let's just let Josh.
I was gonna say the exact opposite and say do it one beer at a time, but Josh, lay it down. What do you got?
Josh, show us what you drank, bro.
Beer number 1, I was guessing, was Hams.
Yeah, and it is
The pub beer.
the pub beer. We were all wrong. Everyone.
Sorry, 10 Barrel.
Yeah.
Okay,
really,
so
really
that's interesting
apologize
because
to you guys.
part of the reason I guessed beer number 2 was the pub beer was because I didn't really get a lot of those the aldehyde notes. I didn't really get a lot of green apple on beer number 2, and I figured the one outlier on that would probably be
should
the more
be your
local
craft
option.
brewery. Yeah.
So
beer
number two, I guess, was the pub beer, but I know I'm wrong on that now. And fun fact, it was the Hams.
The Hams.
Okay, so I could still be right on my second two, my last two. Beer number 3, I got the most aldehyde notes on, and it was also the flattest beer, which kind of led me to guess the High Life, also because it was in a bottle and not a can. So beer number 3, High Life. Got beer number 3 right.
High Life.
So High Life was right, and of course my last beer, which is honestly my favorite of the tasting and one of my favorite cheap beers. Got my cold snacks.
In the Montucky cold snack.
Montucky makes a fine beverage.
Okay, I went 2 for 4.
You went. That's pretty good. That's better than CJ and
I'm okay with that.
Marty
I'm gonna
did.
go grab the rest
They
of my
went
can
2
of
for
Montucky.
5.
That is better than Pro Brewers did on Pro Beers. That is absolutely true.
You guys went 2
2
for 5.
I was most
Josh went
likely to
2
reach
for 2.
for.
2 for 4.
The 2 I was most likely to reach for was the pub beer and then the cold snacks, and the Hams and the High Life were the 2 that I apparently like the least. So
All right.
which is honestly what I would have guessed as far as that order goes.
CJ, give us the reveal. What do we got? Beer number 1.
We all know beer number 2, obviously, but beer number 1. Let's just go ahead and pull the doggy bags back and all this shit. Beer number 1. Oh man, I did a good professional job of wrapping this shit, guys.
Yes,
Now
you
you
did.
can't
It's
get it out.
like up
It's
in
like
there,
Christmas
dude.
morning up in CJ's house today.
For shitty
Unveiling the
craft beer.
presents you don't want. Let me see if I can just force the can out of there.
That's
Dude.
how Grandma died.
Oh shit!
Oh my god!
Uh,
I missed that joke. It's
beer
the High
number
Life
1
can.
is absolutely Hams.
Oh, it's
beer
Hams.
number 1,
No shit.
which was my recommendation for this
That was your-
episode, and it's my least favorite. It's my
Was
least
that
favorite.
your guess for beer number 1? I think that was your guess, right?
I think it was.
Yeah,
I
because
think
you said Hams, Rainier, and then Banquet.
yeah, it's low carbonation, and it's definitely, and they call it an American premium lager.
But you were singing its praises there. So
I was. It's so fun to drink. It's but when I'm blind
But
tasting
they
it,
also
the
call it
honesty,
89 octane. Pretty
yeah,
much,
the
so.
honesty comes out. It did kind of suck.
All right, we know beer number 2 was the 2 ski. What's beer number 3?
Number 3, pulling it out of my garbage bags again.
That's
Beer
the
number
That
3
was the
is
Rainier.
Rainier, dude.
the Ronier.
Dude, just the way you described it, I knew that was the Rainier, 100%.
All
Super
right.
fun, super spritzy.
Which leaves Banquet as your fourth. You pretty much.
Which I believe I called that one.
Yep, you did.
Yep.
I switched your hams in your banquet, but I also guessed before you actually drank the banquet, so
I will honestly say, having drank all these 3 beers, somewhat blind, and drinking them again, that of course Rainier and Banquet are my favorites. But if I had to reach for one at the price point right now, and this makes me hurt as a OG Portland hipster, I'd reach for Banquet.
I kind of want to go
Banquet's
drink a
super
banquet
tasty.
tonight now. Like I kind of
Banquet
want to go
is
find a bar and have a
super
banquet.
tasty. I hate propping Miller Coors up, but
God damn.
it's delicious. It's delicious.
All right, Thomas.
T, where you at?
It's time.
What we did. So my
So
first.
what was your order? What was your guess again?
In order, it was Hams, Kona, High Life, Banquet.
All right.
Beer number 1.
Kona.
Coors Banquet.
Swing and a miss.
Swing and a miss.
and a miss.
So wing, bada 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 bada. So wing.
Beer number 2. Kona. Nailed that one.
All right. You got the craft lager.
Okay, you
on
got
there,
the
yeah.
craft right.
Beer number 3. Hams. And finally, beer number 4. And the last one was Miller.
So did you go 1 for 3 there? You only got the
went
craft?
1 for 4.
1 for 4.
1 for 4.
Dude, it is hard because we all have these stereotypical ideas of what these beers mean to us via memory rather than actually via flavor, right? So it's tough.
I will say the first 2 definitely threw me off with the hams and the pub beer. The Miller, kind of the carbonation and just the slightly difference in how it kind of tasted mouthfeel wise, bottle versus can. I kind of guessed on that. Montucky, the second I drank it, I knew that was Montucky. I've had so many
I
Montuckies.
labeled these wrong.
Sure.
I'm sad how much I like Coors Banquet. It's really delightful.
I really want to go try a banquet again now. It's been so long since I've had one.
It's fucking good, dude.
Well, I'm gonna drink this Sierra Nevada now to get that nasty taste out of my
I'm gonna
mouth.
finish this Montucky now because that's the only beer here that I care to finish.
Oh, and Worm Seed.
We're all gonna get technical now that we can see the labels. Oh, I will not drink that shit. No.
No, I mean, okay, like I said, the first one was probably my most likely to reach for until I drank my 4th, and that was the pub beer. I don't feel like finishing a 25-ounce pub beer right now.
That's fair. That's totally fair.
can't-
No
I might
disrespect to the head
Red
brewer
Notes
10
off
barrel,
of
but
Miller.
But I guess maybe I got to pick up a case of pub beer for the mountain sometime this spring because they were my second favorite in this tasting.
What did we all feel about? We drank a lot of shit beer tonight, right? Like quote unquote shit beer via what the modern brewing community feels about beer now. And knowing that we like some of these things, I don't know. Let's throw out a statement real quick. Josh, what do you tell somebody who's like, well, I only drink craft IPA, but I want something affordable? What do you tell them?
Well,
You know?
I guess there's 2 things that came out of this for me. To that person, I say, try blind taste testing some cheap beer and really pay attention because there's a lot of flavors and notes and little things in there. I mean, they're all so fucking similar. They are very similar.
It's
But
all very
there
cute,
are-
very slim style, right?
There
But
are so many things. If you're not looking at the can that you're holding, if you've got like 3 glasses lined up in front of you with something totally different in each one, although they might be very similar, they might look the same, you don't even get any smell off them, you can really pick out some fine details there. And it's actually kind of a fun way to challenge your taste buds to see how fine you can get on the differences. But also to those people who come into J-Dub and order a Coors Light and I say, sorry, we have Bud Light. And I kind of judge you silently inside when you say, hell no, I'm not drinking a Bud Light. I only like Coors Light. I apologize because there's a difference.
My bad, fam. My bad.
there is a difference, but
It's a minute difference.
I always
but
feel like those drinkers too are just like, you know, they are, despite our tasting tonight, which we tasted several We'll call them unique flavors from a lot of light lagers.
I'm disappointed
Um,
with myself.
so much of it is brand representation too, and brand loyalty. Honestly, at the end of the day,
Yeah.
Well,
And
Bud
I mean, I
Heavy
get that.
doesn't taste like
Coors versus
MTV.
Coors versus Busch Anheuser is like Nike versus Adidas. It's like
Yeah.
fucking Coke versus Pepsi.
When I mean, I get the loyalty thing. Like when it comes to vodka, 9 times out of 10, I order a Tito's. Which normally most things I like to try to order local, but Tito's does a lot
Yeah, but
of
15
donating to
years ago,
support dogs, so I go for
You would have
Tito's.
ordered a Stoli.
Right, right.
Right?
Like I
Well,
remember
and
that. Like
and again,
Stoli was
blind
the thing.
tasting. But yeah, blind tasting a Tito's versus a Stolia versus a New Amsterdam gin. Are you confident you could pick out the Tito's? Probably
No,
not. But you like the brand. You
I pretty
respect the
much
brand.
guarantee I could not pick a Tito's out from any other vodka. I just like the brand of Tito's. I like what they
Right.
do,
Right,
so
right,
I
right.
buy
Like
Tito's.
trying to taste the difference between Grey Goose and fucking Belvedere.
Right,
It
exactly.
will all take the paint
Exactly.
off your car. Don't worry.
Yeah,
So no, this was a fun one though because we reviewed some beers that maybe shouldn't be reviewed.
Like I said, I'm disappointed with myself.
But
I
I
I'm
feel
pretty
like
okay with
I feel
how I
like I would
did.
have done better than that.
Sorry, 10 Barrel, for thinking your beer was hams.
10 Barrel,
But
that
also,
wasn't
actually,
me. Just letting
I
you
guess
know
that's
that
a
wasn't me.
kudos. I guess that's a kudos to 10 Barrel because they designed the beer to taste like a cheap, shitty lager or pilsner or whatever.
So
So,
they hit the mark.
I mean,
Oh,
I guess they did good because I thought it was hams. So,
if you want to look at this glass half full, absolutely kudos to them and a brilliant branding idea and it's something that any brewer, whether
I
they be
mean,
on the home scale or not, looking to try and like understand that there's still a place for the American light lager.
oh, absolutely.
I'm a brewer, and when I go home, the first thing I want to drink is a PBR. Not because it's not complex, because it's not technical in any way.
Yeah.
It's just simple and clean and beautiful, and that's the way that it is. So this was a fun tasting for me. I'll just
I
say
had a
it was
great time
I had
with
a great
that.
time.
good time.
I had a great time with this because first of all, I have a lot to learn about my palate, and I should probably quit smoking to make that better. I know I've said that I quit for a while, but it's been a weird couple of weeks, so I picked it back up.
That's fair. That's fair, dude. Shit happens.
Yeah, I'll get there. I'll get there. But this was hilarious. This was honestly more fun for me personally than the tasting episode that we did with Marty. While that episode might have been a little bit funnier, this for me personally was more enjoyable because I actually got to all right, now I got some fucking homework to do. If I can't pick out these shit ass lagers from one another, how
Well,
am I ever going to be able to tell the difference between
although I think
ales?
in some ways it's easier to tell craft beers apart than these lager. Like these ones, we're really looking at the finest of fucking, because like we were saying earlier, they are so
Mass produced.
hyper consistent,
Yeah.
right? And I mean, they are all, let's be honest, cheap pilsner lager style beers, and they're all cheap fucking like this. This is how they're gonna taste, and so those little nuanced differences of like how much green apple do you taste on your tongue, right? Like, do you taste 3/4 of a green apple versus like 4/5 of a green apple? And that's like
It's
the difference between a High Life and a Hams. And that's
are you eating a green apple Jolly Rancher or are you licking the skin of a green apple? Like, what do you
Right.
taste?
like, I mean, it's such a nuanced difference that this is actually, for anyone out there who's really trying to develop, trying to taste things, it could be a really good exercise to have someone blind pour these beers for you, so you can pick the most generic, basic, least flavorful beers and try to tell the difference in them, right? Like you could tell like IPAs with 7 different hops in it, and this other IPA has these 5 other different hops, and it's really easy to taste the difference between those
Because
beers
there's more complex.
without being able to like describe the difference in flavors. Like you could taste like, oh, that is clearly different than that. But these ones, they're all designed to taste the same. So what is the difference? And like really honing in on what that difference is.
Yeah, you would have to, in order to do that, we would have to drink like 4 West Coast or East Coast style IPAs to like
Yeah,
have the same thing happen. Like but what we did with the IPA episode was like we kind of like spanned the spectrum in IPAs when we did the tasting with Marty.
exactly.
This was like just straightforward gas station beers. Like you pick up
Yep.
a 30 rack of this before you go out and burn stuff in the woods with your friends and shoot guns into the air.
It's
You know
the
what I mean?
brown bag beer bonanza.
Fucking A. That's I don't even call this episode that.
Oh yeah.
But let's wrap this up, boys. This has been absolutely hilarious and a lot of fun tonight. Josh, I know you got some things to get to.
I just got whiskey to go
Date
drink.
night.
So.
No, you got date night,
man.
bro.
You gotta go drink
date
with a
night,
girl.
dude.
No. This is cool.
Come on.
Where can the people find you
Come
on
on.
the socials?
You can find me Enjoy Every Day on Instagram and Facebook. You can find me at The Viking Peaches on Instagram. You can find me at Josh Saran Photography on Facebook. You can find me at Josh Reports on TikTok, Facebook, and Instagram. And one last note. Enjoy every day, y'all. Peace.
He's practiced that so many times.
I'm sorry I asked you where people can find you. DJ, we all know.
Or on Mount Bachelor, because that's
You-
where I am every
you-
single fucking day.
You can't find me. You can't find me, and that's
Can't
the way I
find
like
CJ
it.
anywhere, but if you come into Discord, you can probably have a conversation with him if he signs up, which I asked him last week.
We're working on it.
If
I'm
you
on
fi-
there. It's unlikely I'll respond.
If you find me, then I owe you a conversation. That's
And
the
I'm
way I
Cousin
feel.
T. You can find me at cousin_T on the Instagrams. Or if you want to help support this podcast, go to patreon.com/finalgravitypod and join Fred and a few others that are helping support things. Find us on Instagram also at final.gravity.podcast to follow all the things. And we will catch you guys next week, where we're actually going to, I think we're going to talk about the breakdown of like proper lagering, since all we did was drink lagers.
I believe.
Okay.
That sounds like a good plan to me.
The difference between, these mass-produced, lagers from like Rainier and Highlight and Miller, like we drank tonight, versus craft lagers. I think will be our discussion. So we will catch you next time. Thanks for tuning in, and as always, wait,
No suds left behind.
no suds left behind. I was like, wait a minute, we don't have a thing for that.
We don't have an as always, bro.
We don't have an as always. God damn it! All right, we're done. We're out. We'll catch you guys next time. Peace.
Peace.